you know, this may have horrific consequences, but I just kind of went in there and there were a bunch of zeros and I made them into ones. And now it works. I may have broken a lot of other things, but it works. So, alright, here's the deal with this maze. You go this way, there's basically just a bunch of trees and mazes, and there's nothing actually that appears over there. But, if you go up here, this is the actual way to go, which personally I still feel is a little bit of a dick move, because you have a whole maze down there with no actual exit. As far as enemies here, because I'm going to use the virus in just a sec, so you got a bunch of really tough things out here. You got trilobites, what are they, bulbs, which are like this weird block thing. I think something else. So we'll see those bulbs in just a sec, I'm sure. After that, I'm gonna use the virus. Yeah, there they are. Run away from the scary thing. And apparently kill everything with AIDS. Okay, messed up, but whatever. Alright, no more encounters. Except for the boss. The boss is a scary, horrific thing, and it's coming up pretty soon. Alright, so the problem is, odds are, if you just played this normally, you didn't have the 2,000 extra bucks or whatever, or... well, there's only a few places you're gonna end up getting money. So if you didn't have a Swiss watch, you're already down 2 grand. You can get, I believe, 2 grand in the castle, as well as an extra 5 grand from another file there, so you're gonna end up with like 2,500, because you're not gonna be able to fight stuff at this point. So without grinding, you're gonna end up, let's say, with 3,000, so you can maybe afford the Uzi. But we're operating under the assumption somebody gets here with like 150 attack and no other items. They'd be utterly screwed at this point, because there's no actual way to beat this boss here. This is the first of 2 like entirely brick wall bosses. Like, their whole deal is just they do not give a crap about damage. Have ridiculously high defense. Ironically, they're trees. If you get here with an axe, you can't really do anything about it. Oh. Alright, well, apparently, because I turned so many ones to zeros, they're already dead? Right, well... hang on. I need to go reload the bosses. Back again! So, yeah. There's a tree here now. I'll kill it. So these living trees will basically eat anything up to a rocket launcher. They're just flat out immune to them. All we need is a defense penetrator. Which, now that I think about it, I should go and copy all of these things. Take them out of my cache later. Because it's the only actual way to beat this guy. Yeah, his stats are nuts. Yeah, if you use a power sucker, it'll transfer his power to you. So if he loses 75, you gain 75. So if I go to the stats now, yeah, it's 275. So there's finally the possibility of decent damage. Paralyzer on him to just put him in place. I actually forgot to pick up more of these items. I was meaning to do so. So I'm basically just going to dupe them and take them out of my cache. Yeah, now we're doing pretty decent damage to this guy. And the reason I'm going to dupe them is going to become pretty obvious pretty soon. And, you know, that's always going to do. That's why I use paralyzers, so that they don't go and heal themselves. However, a tree actually patches itself up and he knows. Guess he just drops some wood glue on himself. So I'm gonna save. save file. Drop some items in there. Hopefully this doesn't break the game in half. I don't actually know how many slots were left. Oh crap, it broke the game in half. Oh no. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Alright. Oh, gotta restart it. Hello again. I just got back with a lot more items. So, right here, you basically just have 3 of that exact same boss fight. Thankfully, they don't make you fight 1 and then 2 at a time, because that would just be nonsense. It is still kind of a weird one. Have to fight it like this. So, this time, I'm gonna do a bit less of that whole, you know, adding crazy amounts of items and then kind of accidentally deleting the universe thing. Because I thought it was a little bit of a problem. We'll see how it works with this boss fight. Again, it seems a little bit dickish, because odds are, you know, you prepare for that first boss fight, probably backtrack for it. You're kind of in a position where suddenly you can do this huge backtrack, and, well, you kind of SOL, because now you have to go backtrack all over again, because now you have 3 of that boss fight. A little bit of dick move, personal opinion, but, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta really punch some trees. As you do. Now, not all of my items really transferred in here for some reason. Hey, you know what? I can't actually even win these fights. That's a weird time. Actually, no. They're supposed to be down here. That's weird. Let me see. Alright, hang on one sec. Let me reload the file and see what's going on here. Because it just plain didn't add a lot of the stuff that I added. Well, wandering through the forest again, but good news is, after an utter nightmare of weird stuff happening from editing the wrong numbers and mixing up the wrong things in the save editor, I think I figured out where I actually can be going now. And this time I didn't wind up in a weird, bizarre void or some plot place that I'm not actually supposed to be yet that kind of turns into another weird, bizarre void. So, yeah, finally got the items needed, and all other such things for trees. You know, your usual gardening supplies, like weird needles filled with all kinds of bizarre chemicals and stuff. So what I'd done last time, I basically had gone and accidentally maybe mixed up the top and bottom portions of how this thing stores your items. So basically, I had gone and like it has a name and then a function number from what I can tell. So I had gone and mixed those up to the point where it was just completely crashing constantly, or just putting them in bizarre places. Mixed up one of the lines at the bottom because it has your X and Y, your limit for your X and Y, your location number, and then your plot number, more or less. And kind of accidentally put some of those wrong. What's that though? Can we get back landscaping now? Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm wondering how much of a thing it would actually be to try and beat this game with just items. Because you can basically just run through the beginning of the game, so that's, you know, fine enough. You can grenade the first couple bosses. And then once you get to these guys, you have to use items. I guess theoretically an item run would be possible, because after this, you have to go and you kind of proceed through the plot from here. So, you get one key, then you get another key, then you fight a boss, you can't win that boss, then you end up going to a mountain, you kind of have to use items on that boss. Kind of a dick move at that point, because if you don't have certain items, you can't actually win, and you can't go back to get said items. That thing must store a lot of water. I'm looking at it, it kind of looks like a barrel cactus. Not really sure what it would need eyes for. 'Cause, I mean, if it's a tree, if it's stuck in one place, it doesn't really have any reason to be looking around. It can just kind of sense around. I wonder if I can get somebody to do a biological analysis of the designs in this game. I'm curious. Come on, tree. Please die. No. And now one more tree. Downside to the dupe method, I have to keep at least one of these items around. If I don't, then I can't exactly dupe them now, can I? I should ask Gerger what the power sucker actually does. It's actually just like a sponge that you chuck at somebody. Come to think of it, I wonder how they recorded the sounds for all these. Like if they just used a bunch of sounds they found online, or if they went and just recorded a sponge dripping. How involved that process was. And I suppose there's also the wondering, again, about how a tree exactly patches itself up. So one slightly iffy boss fight later, or 4 of them. Over here, and there is an altar of some description. Not really interact with it, but you can use shovels. Oh yeah, you have to be down here. What's funny is when I was playing this first, I ended up playing a lot of Link's Awakening at the time, and I actually had gone digging holes all over the place with a shovel. I was hoping to get items and stuff, but sadly couldn't get them. Come on. Oh, guess I can't exactly dig a hole with a key now, can I? Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be the key. I screwed up the triggers, didn't I? Alright, laziness ensues. I'm just giving myself that key. Screw it. The other key, too. Cheating scumbag mode engaged. Where are you? Yeah, somewhere in all of these 1s and 0s there was a 0 that should have been a 1, or vice versa. And it isn't there. So here's the deal. You dig up the master key, use it on another door in the castle, because it doesn't actually work on that front door. And then you use that to open up a door that has a chest that gives you the access card. It's basically a door that is right nearby the where you go through the cellar. Like if you have that cellar entrance on the top right, it's pretty close to there. You just basically go up and down from the cellar a couple times. I believe you go to the 3rd floor and then down again, and that's where you actually find that key. Because apparently the door with a comically huge keyhole on it actually has an electronic lock. And just backtracking through the garden. To the front door to go fight, what should be assumed to be the last boss. Yeah, there's definitely problems that come from messing with save files. Though you can get some funnier results in a lot of newer games. And there's this time that I was trying to mess around with the numbers on XCOM 2. Kind of accidentally ended up locking one of the, like the main rifle thing. Locked it at no damage somehow, even though it had a number. And I even tried resetting its numbers and it still didn't work, so it was strange. Odd times we definitely had that day. Speaking of not noticing things, I just noticed that I apparently had a fan on for like 3 days, and I was wondering why my feet were cold. I've actually gotten pretty cold. Like, it somehow jumped from summer all the way down to autumn in like 5 seconds. Maybe I won't kill these guys. I was gonna say I wanted a second to go and test something with the items, but they're obviously gonna give me problems. I try to use this. But yeah, he still thinks he spoke with Red Nail, so yeah, that's probably why that was locked. But you can say that line. And yeah, I have to go get the access card anyway. And I'm gonna go do that. believe it's through here. Yeah, it's not on the upper right, it's on the left, what am I saying? Oh, what a shock, I actually got stuff wrong. I got a lot of stuff wrong all the time. Kind of embarrassing. I don't think that I even pushed the record button. Hey, I did. Although now I'm on the wrong window. Hey, here's the door. Seriously? This is the door. Time to change some zeros to ones. 1 second. Hi again! So through a bit of cheating scumbaggery, I did manage to actually get this door open. Not in any proper way. Actually, for some reason, changing the X and Y coordinates made the door open. For some reason, neither plot triggers nor any of the ones or zeros seem to want to accomplish that goal, but, you know, at this point, I'm not going to question it, because I've been here for like half an hour messing around with the numbers. Oh. And I apparently deleted Tracer in the process. Did I delete this guy too? Alright, crap. Well, I might have accidentally deleted the whole game, so I'm just gonna probably leave it off here until I figure out what exactly went wrong. I think that's pretty much gonna be everything, and, yeah, I'll be back after that. These have anything in them? No? Jeez, I even deleted the treasure chests. How does that even happen? Alright, I'll be back after that.